everybody, Sheldon here, Comic Impact with the amazing J.T.Krul. And you know him, you love him from Green Arrow, from Captain Atom, and from a new Aspen book I hear that you're going to be possibly doing. If you could talk about it.
No, I can't talk about that.
Can you talk about the other book that you might be doing at DC? Can't talk about that?
I can't, actually, no.
Okay,
They're very
secretive.
They're very secretive about stuff. Yeah.
All right. Well, tell us a little bit about Captain Atom, because you can...
Captain Atom's fantastic. Working with Freddie Williams has just been amazing. We're really working closely together to kind of build this world for Captain Atom. And it's really a story about a man who gets unbelievable powers and how it affects his own sense of humanity and his sense of place in the world. So a lot of actually the first arc is really exploring the different facets of his powers and how they affect him and how he kind of has to cope with them and deal with it and how that changes him and the way he kind of sees the world around him. So it's a very kind of outside of the box kind of storytelling, and where it's really not like a superhero book. I mean, he's got threats that he fights, but it's not really. It's more like he's fighting himself and it's sort of finding out who he is, which I would assume that's a big. I mean, that's obviously a big through line of the book for Captain Atom. Yeah, absolutely.
And I was going to ask you actually, it must be difficult to write a character like that. Who, I mean, it's kind of hard to write an all-powerful character. What are you going to do with that? You know?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like the second issue just came out, and in it, spoiler alert, if you haven't read it, there's actually he gets a message, like a YouTube video, because he can actually perceive signals from around the world. So it's like he's basically bombarded by all our cell phone signals, our YouTube videos, all of our wireless communications and satellite information is basically, he's like a human antenna almost for that. And he actually picks up a signal of a boy who's dying of cancer, who's essentially calling out to help for him.
Yeah.
And he goes and he
goes inside of it.
Goes inside the boy's brain and he actually removes the cancer from the boy's brain and gets rid of his tumor. And someone actually was messaging on Twitter like, well, now that you've done that, like,
what else can he do?
What else can he do? But that's the whole point, and we'll actually see kind of, there's an evolution to how he kind of goes about his day and what he spends his time doing. And as we get into issue 3, he is kind of on that same path of like trying to help people all over the place.
On a small scale, but only a huge person can do, you know, like godlike.
Exactly, and so we're going to kind of play into that, and actually I'm just really excited for issue 3 because the Flash is in it.
Oh, nice.
And it's not really a team-up book per se, but it's just a great dynamic, and the two characters work well off each other because as much as Captain Atom's powers kind of distance himself from other people, the Flash is in his own world too, because when he moves at his normal speed, or the way he's the only one. He's the only one there. It's like everybody else is standing still, so he's kind of alone in the world too when he goes in that respect. And so there is that connection for the two characters, and we need to explore that. But then it all builds out from there, and so there's a long-term game plan for the story. Like the opening arc is about 6 issues. Then we have like a 7th issue, is kind of a sort of a standalone a little bit, and then it launches into the second arc. But the whole first year is really part of one big story, and there's stuff that happens in the first arc that you think like, well, where does that come from? Like the numbers that we have on the book, the volcano, this mysterious rat creature, like all these things, they all play into like a much bigger story.
Do you feel he's a character that's going to go cosmic at some point, as far as not like explode, but go cosmic in the sense of being a part of the Green Lanterns, not as a member, but to interact with them, or any of the other sort of universal galaxy scale DC characters?
I mean, maybe at one point down the road, but right now, I mean, the whole focus is he needs to be on Earth because he needs to be grounded, because the whole point is he's kind of losing
searching for his humanity.
Exactly. He's losing that connection. It's like, why, you know, what keeps him human anymore? Because there's nothing about his form. His form is something he generates, so why is he even taking the form that he's taking? And we actually discuss, and we actually kind of explore some of those notions of why he takes the shape he does, and what are other ways that he might see himself. But I think for right now, I mean, the big part of the story is about him keeping his humanity. So in that regard, we want to keep him kind of his feet firmly planted on the ground,
right?
To a certain extent.
Yeah, that makes total sense. We also know, and we're sorry here to hear. I know you knew this was coming.
I know
that you're leaving Green Arrow. I was told you have to read JT's Green Arrow. You have to read JT. I was like, you know what? I'm going to wait till they start the new one. And I got 2 issues in, 3 issues in, and they're like, sorry, JT's the alternate. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
But
well, there's a lot of good old Green Arrow to read too.
There is, and I'll be honest with you, I liked some of the stuff you were doing with the new Green Arrow stuff.
Okay.
I liked that it dropped the sort of goatee thing. I feel like a lot of that was 70s inspired to a degree, 60s inspired obviously too, and connecting it with Robin Hood. So I like the sort of new was sort of slicker, the fact that he had Q-Core. I liked a lot of the elements played off from Flashpoint that was sort of still incorporated in it. Is there anything that you're hoping it's going to stick as with Ollie as a character?
I think, from what I understand, I mean, I'm not when you kind of leave a book, you kind of hand over the reins. And
Sure,
but
it's your baby, but you got to let it go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think that there are things that they're carrying through. Like I don't think me leaving is going to be a thing where it's going to uproot the story and uproot who the character is. I mean, they definitely wanted to go in a different direction, and this kind of, you said, like kind of a younger, a kind of more
mobile,
yeah, but also a man of the world, kind of like a very kind of universal James Bondy kind of Mission Impossible kind of vibe. And so that's definitely, I think, something that's going to keep going through. But I think a lot of it, and I think Anne's going to do a great job.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've read a little bit of her talking about the book.
Yeah, and I think one of the things she's going to touch upon from when I read is that, you know, the thing with Green Arrow is that he never really has had like a real strong rogues gallery, and that was something that, you know, we tried to introduce in the last incarnation, and that, and just starting out in this new one, and in the 3-issue arc that I did, but kind of carrying that forward is a matter of really building up and amping up the threats that Ollie faces, especially now because he's got Q4, because he's got his advanced arrows, he has all this tech that he can kind of work with. So if you ramp up his ability and what he can do, then you've got to ramp up the threats as well. So I think it'll continue to be kind of a fun, exciting, energetic book.
Cool. JT, we here at Comic Impact love you.
I love you guys.
We wish you all the best in everything you do, man. And it's great to finally get to interview. I think I'm the last guy on the site that's got to do it. So
say the best for last.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Hey guys, stick around for more coverage of Long Beach Comic Con 2011.